All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles, the great millstone, for teaching us this truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing this truth with sincerity. All right, so the Spirit had me in Judges today, First Judges 2, and really, I wasn't going to make a video, about Easter, but, Yahweh, through the Spirit, he wanted me to curse Easter. So that's what this lesson is about to do. Because really it was a beautiful thing that yesterday, which was the pagan holiday Easter Sunday, and, all of these Babylonians, aka Americans, didn't get to celebrate their pagan holiday like they normally do. So it was Yapa that, and Yapa is beautiful in Hebrew. It was Yapa that, these heathen and these 2/3 weren't able to do that wicked thing yesterday. So, everything that the Yahweh has put in place, this quarantine and everything, it's really for the betterhood of the so-called Negroes, Native Americans, and so-called Latinos, because he kept you from celebrating that wicked holiday yesterday, That's one reason. But, some of y'all are so wicked, you still found a way to celebrate that, that holiday, So, but anyway, like I said, I wasn't going to get on this subject, but the Spirit wanted me to bring it out, obviously, because that's what I read today, unknowingly, So I'm going to start at Judges 2:11. It says, "And the sons of Israel," because the word children means sons in Hebrew, "did evil in the sight of Yahweh and served Baalim," which is also Baal, which is basically just another pagan god. "And they forsook Yahweh thy power of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods of the gods of people that were round about them," meaning they followed all the heathen gods that, lived around the Israelites. And when we look at maps, let me read this though. "And bowed themselves unto them and provoked the Lord to anger." So basically, we know Edom wasn't around Israel. We know Ammon and Moab. So, our people foolish, they've always been foolish, nothing new under the sun. They were always following these pagan gods, and really just through the Spirit. Let me bring this out real quick. That's literally the first commandment, Exodus 20, and we'll start at verse 3. This is the first commandment. It says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." So when you go and celebrate that pagan holiday Easter, you literally are putting a god before Yahweh. And really, they try to say it's the resurrection of you guys call him Jesus, but in reality, and we're going to get into this, it's the opposite. It's about the resurrection of a pagan deity. And I'm going to keep reading Judges here, because I'm going to get into who you're really worshiping and praising when you celebrate Easter. All right, let's go back to that. Judges 2:11 through 13. We're on 12. Or no, I'm sorry, 13. "And they forsook Yahweh and served Baal and Ashtaroth." All right, so I was just through the Spirit reading. This is where I read and look up that word Ashtaroth, and lo and behold, Ashtaroth is Inanna or Ishtar, Ishtar, which is a the pagan god Inanna, who is referred to as the Queen of Heaven, who, and I'm gonna make a long story short, she She was in Greek mythology, and also she goes back to Egyptian, and I was reading also Sumerian pagan worship. But what it is Ashtaroth is Ishtar, the pagan Egyptian god that the Hamites used to worship. Which her story in Flash is basically she went to the underworld to fight her sister to have a dominion in both the underworld and the I guess you would say above ground or the earth, and she failed and basically was killed but resurrected, and then that goes back to Ishtar, who is the queen of heaven. All right, and that's who Ashtaroth is in verse 13 here. All right, so let me go to Jeremiah 44 and I'm actually just going to start at 1 because it gives you a better understanding. Oops. Jeremiah 44 and 1. And let me just start at, I'll start at 3. And actually, you know what? Before I go into that, let me pull up this article I was reading, because this is just some random article that I found. Because a lot of these, when you look up Easter, they don't demonize it and they don't give you the truth. Even if you go to Wikipedia, it really doesn't demonize. I don't even think it mentioned it was pagan in Wikipedia. But I found this article, and let's just read it by looks like some Edomite wrote it, but nonetheless, she was telling the truth. And we'll start from the middle of the top. It says, "From Ishtar to Eostre, the roots of the resurrection story go deep. We should embrace the pagan symbolism of Easter." Okay, so obviously we're not going to do that, but that's what this article reads. It says, "Easter is a pagan festival. If Easter isn't really about Jesus, then what is it about? Today we see a secular culture celebrating the spring equinox, while its religious culture celebrates the resurrection. However, early..." And you know what? Let me see. I'm going to scroll down. Okay, here's what I want. It says, the Sumerian goddess Inanna, or Ishtar, was hung naked on a stake and was subsequently resurrected and ascended from the underworld. One of the oldest resurrection myths is Egyptian Horus. So then it goes into talking about Horus and how he was also resurrected, So in the Egyptian mythology. But the main point I wanted to bring out of this article is just that Inanna is Ishtar. All right, and it goes back into a sex. She's a sex, war, and a political power goddess. All right, pagan goddess. So this is the God that you're worshiping when you celebrate Easter. You're not worshiping our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai, because that these Edomites, they'll do anything to make you, a stumbling block, keeping you in darkness, And you have a lot of Christians, and you have a lot of Catholics, and all these 2/3 and heathen in America, Babylon, and that's what they do, man. They're huge on that holiday, Easter, But it goes back to that, Actually, let's go to Judges 2, and I think it's 15. What was it? No, 13. In the middle of your screen. "And they forsook Yahweh and served Baal and Ashtaroth." All right. Let's keep reading. "And the anger of Yahweh was hot against Israel." So you see, Yahweh he's pissed off when you celebrate Easter, man. I'm reading right out the Bible here. And if you look up that word Ashtaroth in verse 13, you're going to come up, the names that are going to pop up is Inanna and Ishtar, who is referred to as the Queen of Heaven. All right, so this is just plain Jane. The Spirit wanted me to curse this holiday, even though, we none of the brothers yesterday we held camp. None of us, acknowledged Easter. We literally forgot that it was Easter. So that's a beautiful thing, showing you that, hey, we're coming back into remembrance. Because when we were still part of the world, we would remember, oh yeah, Easter's coming up. But hey, that's beautiful. It's Yapa that a lot of us didn't even consider yesterday was Easter while we were at camp. The brother Gar made a statement. He said, oh shit, I didn't even realize today was Easter. And truthfully, I didn't realize till like the day before. So, that's Yapa. That's showing progress. And it's always starts out with the men of Yahweh, and Lord willing, we're all in that number, the men in our camp. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to Jeremiah 44 and 3. And it says, because of their wickedness, they have committed to provoke me to anger, in that they went to burn incense and to serve other gods, whom they knew not, neither they, ye, nor your fathers. So you see, none of our people knew these gods. We knew only our true power, Yahweh B'Shem, Yahushua B'Shem. That was the only God that we served, you see. But our people went off, man. So let's keep reading. Verse 4. Howbeit, I sent unto you all my servants, the prophets. So you see, he same thing he's doing now, man. Where the prophets are back, we're here telling you, hey, you don't be serving these pagan holidays, because it's literally contrary to the Bible. It's against the Bible, all right? It's blasphemy. But you have been dumbed down so bad to the point where you have a huge zeal, or meaning passion, for Yahweh, but not according to knowledge, you see? And you'd rather stay in your darkness, At the end of the day, Yahweh is the one who has not lifted you out of that darkness, So it says, howbeit I sent unto you all my servants the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate. You see? Literally, that's what I'm telling you. I'm saying don't celebrate Easter. Don't celebrate any of these pagan holidays, because Yahweh hates that. All right? But whether you listen, that's a whole different story, You guys don't want to listen to the prophets, man. Verse 5, but they hearken not. There it is. But you listen not, nor incline their ear to turn from their wickedness, to burn no incense unto other gods. Wherefore my fury and my anger was poured forth, and was kindled in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, and they are wasted and desolate at this day. All right, so you people who don't want to turn from your wickedness, turn from your pagan holidays, you want to say, oh, it's just for the kids, and this and that, you're going to get destroyed in this last end that's coming. And you're a worthy sacrifice, because look at the wickedness that you won't come out of, all right? This is verse 7. Therefore, now thus saith Yahweh, the God of hosts, and the God of Israel, wherefore commit ye this great evil against your souls, to cut off from your man and woman, child and suckling out of Judah, to leave you none to remain. So you see, Judah is saying here, because Judah is the head tribe of Israel. Out of all the tribes, Judah is the leader. So guess what? All of the other tribes followed the leader in this wickedness. You see? But this is an evil against your soul. So for you to celebrate Easter yesterday, that was literally an evil against your soul. And the word evil means bad times. It breaks down into the etymology, Eve meaning time, ill meaning bad. So therefore, you're bringing your future is bad times, evil times. See? Verse 8. In that ye provoke me unto wrath with the works of your hands, burning incense unto other gods in the land of Egypt, whither ye be gone to dwell, that ye might cut yourselves off, and that ye might be a curse and a reproach among all the nations of the earth. You see? So, not only are you creating great evil against your soul, but you're cutting yourself off from Yahweh, which we already know 2/3 of the nation of Israel is going to be cut off and die, all right, in the nuclear missiles. This is talking about Egypt, but what does the Bible call America? It calls it spiritual Egypt and Sodom. You see, so it's the same thing. You people are wicked as hell for celebrating, Easter. Have ye forgotten the wickedness of your fathers? The wickedness that let me see. All right, let me jump to 10. They are not humbled even unto this day, neither have they feared, nor walked in my law, nor in my statutes that I set before you and before your fathers. All right, so you're not humbling yourself if you celebrated that holiday yesterday, and really it's not even a holiday, because holiday means holy day, and that Easter it damn sure ain't holy. All right, but it says here in verse 10 that you have not feared Yahweh. It's more important. The Elder Gabar was going in on this. It's more important to fear Yahweh than to love Yahweh. All right, because you got a lot of Christians running around saying that they love Yahweh, but you're better off if you fear him than to love him. All right, you always say the term God is love, God is love, God is love. Well, no, you should be really considering and saying, hey, God is fear. God is fear. God is fear. You need to fear Yahweh before loving him. Actually, if the word love, it goes back to meaning obedience to his laws, statutes, and commandments. And if you don't, you can't keep those, you won't keep those commandments unless you fear him. All right? Verse 11, therefore thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will set my face against you for evil, and to cut off all Judah. You see? So this is a serious offense, celebrating Easter, man. I already showed you that Easter goes back to Ashtaroth and Inanna, or am I saying it right? Yeah, Inanna and Ishtar, which is basically the Queen of Heaven, which we're about to read. We're getting into that. And I will take the remnant of Judah and have set their faces to go into the land of Egypt to sojourn there, and they shall be consumed and fall in the land of Egypt. They shall even be consumed by the sword and by the famine, and they shall die, from the least even to the greatest, by the sword of the famine, and they shall be an excretion and an astonishment and a curse and a reproach. A reproach is shame. So you're literally a shameful thing to be celebrating those pagan holidays, and you should be ashamed of yourself, okay? And it says here in the land of Egypt, that's where you're going to be consumed. Well, we already said, America is spiritual Egypt. So it's going to be the same thing happen to you Americans, Babylonians. You're going to get cut off and get killed, man, for your wickedness. And that's what the Bible says. Nothing new under the sun. Everything repeats itself, you see. Verse 13. For I will punish them that dwell in the land of Egypt, that's literally talking about America, as I have punished Jerusalem by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence, so that none of the remnant of Judah which are going into the land of Egypt to sojourn there shall escape or remain, that they should return into the land of Judah, to which they have a desire to return to dwell there. For none shall return, but such as shall escape. Then all the men which knew that their wives, where am I? Yeah. Then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other gods. So literally, when you're making those eggs, dyeing the eggs with the kids, you're burning incense to another god. You see, when you hide the eggs and you let the kids look for them, hey, you're burning incense to other gods. You're paying homage to Ashtaroth. Okay. The one we read about in Judges. Let's go back just to give you a reminder. 2 and 13. And they forsook the Lord and served Baal and Ashtaroth. All right. And Ashtaroth, again, is Ishtar and also Inanna. You can look it up yourself if you want. But those are, that's a queen of heaven, all right? Which is, you're celebrating that resurrection, that wicked-ass resurrection and tale and fable. But you're not celebrating, the resurrection of Yahushai like everybody was doing yesterday, And really, like I said, it's Yapa that we're in quarantine because it prevented a lot of people from committing wickedness yesterday. All right. And I'm going back to Jeremiah 44 and 15. Then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other gods, and all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt in Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying, As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of Yahweh, we will not hearken unto thee. See, and that's how these people are with us, prophets. They don't want to listen to us. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing go forth out of our own mouth, to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done. We and our fathers, our kings and our princes in the cities of Judah, and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty of victuals, and were well, and saw no evil. You see? So you that's what these Americans are doing. These same wicked ass, Israelites who are in Babylon, America, saying, hey, we're going to do our thing. We're not going to listen to you prophets. I don't care if that's their attitude. I don't care if Easter is pagan. I've been doing it. My parents taught me it, so I'm going to do it, And they feel like they're depriving their kids if they don't do it, When in actuality, they're cutting their kids' souls off from the truth, But you people won't, you stay in darkness, most of you, Let's go to Jeremiah precept 7 and 18. The sons gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. Do they provoke me to anger, saith Yahweh? Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces? You see? And that's what it is. We talked about confusion of face in other videos, but those are, because our people don't look like, we look like all the nations, and there's a confusion of faith. We look like every single nation out there, and it's because of all of our wickedness, because it's actually a shameful thing to practice Easter, and it's a shameful thing for Israel to look like the other nations, And really, when you're doing, even if you are a so-called Negro and you're celebrating Easter, well, hey, you're a confusion of faith. You're a shame. You're a shame. You're not taking on the look of an Israelite or the custom of an Israelite, No, you're taking on the customs of the heathen, which is wicked. All right. Let's see, go back to Jeremiah 44, and I'm at 18. And it says, "But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things, and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine." All right, so nothing's going to be new under the sun, man. If you're still celebrating that madness, and I'm not just talking about Easter, I'm talking about all these pagan holidays, you are going to be destroyed by the sword, just like they were in Jerusalem. All right, the Judites. All right, and the the companions that dwelled with Judah, Levi and Benjamin. You're going to get destroyed, And now in America, it's all the tribes doing the wickedness, from Judah all the way down to Issachar, who are the so-called Mexicans. 19. "And when we burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and poured out drink offerings unto her, did we make her cakes to worship her and pour out drink offerings unto her without our men?" You see that? So our people been doing wickedness for a long time. But there's a remnant that's going to hearken to this truth, and we're going to stop with that foolishness, Then Jeremiah said unto all the people, to the men and to the women, and to all the people which had given him that answer, saying, "The incense that ye burned in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, ye and our fathers, your kings and your princes and the people of the land, did not Yahweh remember them, and came it not into his mind?" Okay, so let's read the precept. Psalm 79 and 8 says, "Oh, remember not against us former iniquities. Let thy tender mercies speedily prevent us, for we are brought very low. Help us, O Yahweh, of our salvation, for the glory of thy name, and deliver us, and purge away our sins for thy name's sake. Wherefore should the heathen say, Where is their God? Let them be known among the heathen. Let him be known among the heathen in our sight by revenging of the blood of the servants which is shed." All right, you see? So, yeah, you can pray on it, but as long as if you're still celebrating those holidays, you are going to be destroyed by the missiles, which is the sword. All right? Isaiah 64 and 9. It says, "Be not wroth very sore, O Yahweh, neither remember iniquity forever. Behold, see, we beseech thee, we are all thy people." Dealing with Israel, all right? Saying, these Israelites is praying, like saying, hey, for this wickedness we've done, don't cut us off. We are the Israelites, The problem is Yahweh, he only has a remnant. The meaning a small group of people, of Israelites, who are going to repent to this truth. It's going to be the 144,000 prophets, 12,000 from each tribe, and the one third of Israel, all right, that repents. Oops, I went to the wrong one. 44:22. "So that Yahweh could no longer bear because of the evil of your doings, and because of the abominations which ye have committed, therefore is your land a desolation and an astonishment and a curse without an inhabitant, as at this day." You see, so it's going to come to America too. The same destruction. Well, I'm not the same destruction, but the destruction. And it's why? Because basically Yahweh is fed up with you Israelites and your wickedness. All right. And now in 2020, we live in the information age, which Elder Apostle Tahar coined this year as the year of prophecy. And if we're in the year of prophecy, which is also known as the information age, and you don't know that Easter is pagan, then Yahweh has put a heavy veil on your eyes, and it's not being lifted, And even with the prophets, we're out here preaching on the streets, we're out here doing videos, and you're still in that madness, because I know a lot of you Israelites, or I shouldn't even call you Israelite, you Jakes, you were in your houses still fucking doing Easter, verse Jeremiah 44:23. Because ye have burned incense, and because ye have sinned against Yahweh, and have not obeyed the voice of the Lord, nor walked in his law, nor in his statutes, nor in his testimonies, therefore this evil is happened unto you as at this day. So you don't try and question why you're going to die in a missile attack. Don't try and question why the chariots are going to zap your ass. Don't try and question why you get eaten up by a Leviathan. Because you don't care about the laws and the statutes of Yahweh. You don't care about the message the prophets is bringing out. Verse 24, moreover, Jeremiah said unto all the people and to all the women, hear the word of Yahweh, all Judah that are in the land of Egypt. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Yahweh of Israel, saying, ye and your wives have both spoken with your mouths and fulfilled with your hands, saying, we will surely perform our vows that we have vowed, to burn incense to the Queen of heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her. Ye will surely accomplish your vows and surely perform your vows. All right, so you 2/3 and you heathen, that's what you're doing, man. You're pouring out a little liquor for the Queen of Heaven. You're giving her a shout out by celebrating that holiday Easter, which goes back to Ishtar, which goes back to Inanna, which is the Queen of Heaven, all right, in pagan worship. So it says you're going to keep your vows. Even you women are going to keep your vows, and you men are going to keep these wicked vows because of your woman, because that's what it is. Yesterday, I'm sure a lot of men didn't even want to fuck with, there's wicked Israelite men and wicked Israelite women, but you could already see the scenario where the man would have been like, you know what, it's quarantine, I don't even want to do no Easter. And the wife over there, oh, but honey, the kids, just because we're in quarantine, we can't skip, letting them find eggs or whatever, dying eggs, And then what does he do? He ends up folding and say, all right, we're going to get some dye for the eggs. We're going to hide the eggs for the kids. Well, that's what you're doing. You're pouring out a little liquor for the Queen of Heaven when you do that. And you listen to your wife. Just like this, I'm going to bring this account out. Is the same thing happened here in Matthew 14:9. Because it was Herodia, the queen, or, that was Herod's wife. And let's read it. Matthew 14:9. And the king was sorry, nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at the meat, he commanded it to be given her. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison. Okay, so John the Baptist got his head cut off. Why? Because the woman, the woman requested he got his that's what she wanted. He asked her, it was her birthday. He said, what you want for your birthday? I got you. I'm going to give you anything you want. And she said, hey, I want the head of John the Baptist. And so that's what the king, even though he didn't want to do it, that's why it says in verse 9, and the king was sorry, nevertheless, for the oath's sake. Because right before that, he was like telling her, hey, I'm going to give you anything in my kingdom that you want, anything. And that wicked ass bitch chose the head of John the Baptist. You see? And you wicked ass bitches that was begging your husband to do Easter yesterday, you might as well request the head of John the Baptist too, because you're wicked, and that's why your soul's going to be cut off, because you're in darkness. All right. We'll go back to Jeremiah 44:26. Therefore, hear ye the word of Yahweh, all Judah that dwell in the land of Egypt, which we are in spiritual Egypt, all the tribes. Behold, I have sworn by my great name, saith Yahweh, that my name shall no more be named in the mouth of any man of Judah in all the land of Egypt, saying, Yahweh, the power liveth. And then it goes on the precept, it goes into, let's go to it. Genesis 22:16, and said, By myself have I sworn, saith Yahweh, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, dealing with the Israelites, because we're like the stars of heaven, and the sand which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. All right? So he goes back to that covenant with Abraham here in Jeremiah. Let's go back. Because, the Israelites are a huge number, that they're the opposite of minority. That's what your oppressor calls you. But indeed, he's the minority, the so-called white man, Edomite. But, that's what that was referencing in verse 26. So now let's keep reading 27. Behold, I will watch over them for evil and not for good, and all the men of Judah that are in the land of Egypt shall be consumed by the sword and by the famine until there be an end of them. All right, so even though we're a huge number, the Israelites, hey, Yahweh's only dealing with a remnant, meaning a small group of them. Because, like I said over and over, there's only a few of us that didn't celebrate Easter. Instead, we were doing camp, which is righteous, teaching the word of Yahweh. But while you guys were hiding eggs for your kids, and hiding and dyeing eggs for your kids, the night before, and paying homage to the Queen of Heaven unknowingly, it don't matter what your intentions are, though. Yahweh's going to kill you. There's no verse that says, oh, but he had good intentions, he's going to be blessed. No. When you find that verse, put it in the comment board. Because you're not going to find that verse, all right? Verse 27 in the middle. And all the men of Judah that are in the land of Egypt shall be consumed by the sword and by the famine until there be an end of them. And we're already coming in on a famine here in Babylon, America. You can't buy all the food and the meat that you were able to buy just a month ago. Why? Because Babylon is falling as we speak. Verse 28. Yet a small number that escaped the sword shall return out of the land of Egypt into the land of Judah, and all the remnant of Judah that are gone into the land of Egypt to sojourn there shall know whose word shall stand, mine or theirs. Right? So that's talking about the 1/3 and the elect, the remnant. When the elect are the 144,000. So now let's go to a precept. There's only a few of us. You were doing righteous things yesterday. A lot of you, the majority of you wicked Israelites, you Jakes, you were fucking doing your Easter shit, Isaiah 10:19 says, and the rest of the trees of this, or let's go at 18, and shall consume the glory of this forest and of his fruitful field, both soul and body, and they shall be as when a stand-bearer fainteth. And that whole glory of the forest is parable for Israel. All right? He's telling you he's going to consume that glory of the forest. And the 19, and the rest of the trees of his forest shall be few, that a child may write them. And it shall come in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. All right, and let's read 21. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power, Yahweh. So literally, this is the reward, There's going to be a remnant, a smaller number, that yesterday weren't following, the ways of the heathen or the pagan holiday Easter. No, we were doing a righteous thing and we were at camp. Nobody hid eggs for their kids. Nobody dyed eggs, Why? Because we've been pulled out of that mindset of Babylon, We know the truth. verse 29. Oops. Jeremiah 44 and 29. And it shall be a sign unto you, saith Yahweh, that I will punish you in this place, that ye may know that my words shall surely stand against you for evil. So you see, Yahweh's words are standing against you for evil. You're condemned by this Bible. You know, you can go to church if you want, or whatever they did yesterday, online mass, online church, but you know, it doesn't make a difference. You're surely Yahweh's gonna stand against you, you know, and his words stand against you, meaning this truth. I just showed you that Ashtaroth was Easter, right? Inanna, the Queen of Heaven. But yes, yesterday, that's what you were doing, man. You was praising the Queen of Heaven. And Yahweh, you're worthy. You're a worthy sacrifice for Yahweh on the day of wrath, okay? But with that, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ha-Rakah Kudash. Double honors goes to the elders of Apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. I also want to acknowledge all the Akim who are pushing this truth with sincerity here in Babylon, all right? Shalom to the elect. May you endure to the end.